Everyone in Pittsburgh knows that we made steel for decades, and that legacy is still a living part of who we are now. But there aren't a lot of examples left of how all that history was forged. With the Carey blast furnaces, you can literally stand in the shadow of what was once cutting-edge technology. Rivers of Steel offers tours of this important national historic landmark, and they explain how we made iron, introduce you to the people, the workers who made it possible, and share more about the culture that sprang up to support them. Plus, they've got a special spotlight right now on how the Great Migration shaped its workforce. Learn more and book a tour at riversofsteel.com/tours. Today on CityCast Pittsburgh, summer is here, and it's the perfect season for curling up in a hammock with a good book. And you may not know this, but our county library system wants to reward you for reading. It's true, our local summer reading programs are not just for kids. I'm here with a librarian to talk about how you can earn prizes just for getting lost in your favorite beach read, plus some hacks for getting the most out of your library card. It's Monday, June 10th. I'm Megan Harris, and here's what Pittsburgh's talking about. Erin Thompson, you are the Youth Services Coordinator at Andrew Bain Memorial Library in Bellevue. Thank you so much for joining the show.
Thanks for having me, Megan.
We're so excited. I want to know, first and foremost, what is it like to work in that space? If y'all haven't been there, Andrew Bain is beautiful. It's an old Victorian. It's on a hill. I feel like every October it starts to look like a haunted house.
Yes, so it is actually a haunted house.
Wait, what?
If you didn't know, we have several paranormal investigators that come to the building. Actually, our Friends of the Library group usually sponsors every September ghost tour. This year, I think there's going to be some psychics involved.
Very cool.
Yeah. So the house was originally owned by Amanda Bain Balfe. Her husband, James Balfe, built it in the 1800s. He also helped build Phipps Conservatory. And so, very wealthy family. They built the house. And when she died in 1914, I believe, she willed the house to Bellevue and the grounds and said, this has to be a library. The outside has to be a park. And I don't want my beautiful oak trees cut down. In the 1990s, the oak trees were diseased and had to be cut down. And it was after that ghostly activities started happening. But Amanda is a friendly ghost. She basically just kind of flickers lights and pushes books off shelves and spins fans around. And we've had a couple paranormal investigators say there's more than one ghost in there, but Amanda's the only one who seems to regularly knock books off shelves. So if you want to come in and ask what Amanda's reading, we can give you a recommendation.
Yeah, well, I think everyone should check out the space and also get to know you, Erin. You came to the library a little bit later. What was your first experience with summer reading? I'm curious kind of how you may have encountered it, especially as a kid.
Yeah, so I grew up in Moon Township, going to Moon Township Public Library, and my parents both worked and would drop me off often at the library, and I'd spend a lot of time at the library. And when I was a teenager, I helped volunteer with their summer reading program where I would sit in a room and I would read all day and then give prizes to kids that would come in and say, I read these books. And in 2019, I switched from teaching to working in a library. So unfortunately, my first summer reading experience as a librarian was in 2020.
But bad and good, because I feel like so many of us had extra free time or at least time to, consider reading as a leisure activity.
Yeah, it was good because we had used the Beanstack app, which people are able to log on and register with your library and track your reading and earn prizes that way. So people were able to stay home and safely participate in summer reading. It was just a summer where there was no programming, no kind of activities, which is kind of, in my opinion, the hallmark of summer reading. I started working at Bain in 2022, so this will be my third summer working summer reading. And, we're thankfully back to all of that in-person fun activity, all of those kind of exciting things that make you think of summer reading, really.
That's so exciting. So how does it work these days? Do you use a certain program for kids or adults?
Yes, there's programs for every age. It depends on your library, how they run those programs. They can use that Beanstack app, like I said. I know when I personally talk to adults, they're 50-50 on if they like that app or not. I personally never liked it, even though it was nice because I could join other summer reading challenges that weren't my own libraries. But yeah, we at Bain, we have prizes for adults too. I always tell them, like, you're reading books along with your kids. You absolutely should be rewarded for doing all of that hard work.
What kind of prizes are we talking about?
So at our library, we try to stay local to Bellevue. So you can enter to win. Every book you read, you just come in and say, hey, I read a book. I need a ticket.
Honor system then.
Yes, honor system. We're adults. We don't need to police that.
Yeah, no gatekeeping the books here.
Absolutely not. And also, it doesn't matter if you're listening to audiobooks or reading a magazine or any of those kind of things either. Those are all reading. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of people that will say, well, I don't have time to read, but I just read the entire New Yorker. And I'm like, that's really, yeah, like, come on. So personally, this year at Bain, we have a prize. You can win a gift card to Coon's grocery store. You can win to our local coffee shop, Bellevue Beans, to 202 Hometown Tacos, because who does not love free tacos, right?
Mm-hmm. I've definitely sat in that window and had a margarita or two.
Yes. And then we also have a gift card to Target because it's so close to Bellevue, and you can buy groceries, you could buy diapers, or you can buy yourself a giant dinosaur sprinkler or something like that. I don't judge.
I love it. How many books do you usually read, Erin? And then how does that maybe compare to some of your users?
So over the course of the year, I actually read around 120 adult books. I just finished book 40 yesterday. For the year, I'm primarily a romance reader, contemporary romance, and a little bit of nonfiction here and there. Celebrity memoirs are my guilty pleasure. Like Britney Spears' book was so good. And I approach reading as I want to use it as my escape.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I guess I get why libraries have summer reading programs for kids, trying to prevent that summer slide where, they may or may not lose some skills between the school year. But what's your reasoning and why are you so passionate about summer reading for adults in particular?
Because we want everybody to read, right? Like, it doesn't matter how you're reading. It's just something that is there. It's enjoyable. Plus, adults reading is really impactful for children. They see adults sitting and enjoying books. I personally think that my own daughter enjoys reading so much because she sees me reading all of the time. We think it's important that adults have prizes for reading too. Like, I grew up in the book it age, and
same.
Yeah, and I love nothing more than getting my personal pan pizza every single month. And I'm not giving away personal pan pizzas here, but I am very much like, come sign up. You're already doing the work. Come get yourself rewarded for it. My friend actually won the Coons basket last year, and she told me it was like the greatest moment of her life because she's like, I read all the time and nothing ever happens from it. And I won a gift card last year just because I remembered to come in and turn in some tickets.
Yeah, it occurs to me if you're listening to this and you have no idea what book it is, you're younger than us, or maybe a little bit older. It was a Pizza Hut program for folks, but you get a personal pan pizza if you read so many books. It was great. I loved it.
It still exists. My daughter did it 2 years ago in first grade, but I don't feel like it's as well, like every school did book it when we were kids. And now it was just her first grade teacher did book it. And she did it every month, and she was just like, okay, I got a pizza. What's so exciting about that? And I'm like, no, it's the best pizza. Like,
The kids have way more to get excited about these days. Well, for your summer reading for kids or for adults, do you get a lot of participants?
We do. Last year, we had about 144 kids, 20 teenagers, and about 75 adults. So it's about, one adult for every two kids essentially that signed up. So I feel like that's a really good ratio because, again, when, like you said, when you think summer reading, it's people with kids that come in and sign their kids up. And I've been getting questions about it since April about signing kids up. But I love that our adults get really excited about it and they seem to really respond well to the tickets and to the raffle program. And they really are genuinely excited when they win.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they also love to tell us about the books they read too, even though we don't require it. We have several that come in and they are very, very honest. And they'll be like, I need 3 tickets. I'm going to tell you the name of the books I read, what they were about. And we're like, that's great. We're so happy you enjoyed them.
You're validating those type A adults, and it really is making their day.
It really is.
Did you know there's a speakeasy on Liberty Avenue? Well, we're letting the cat out of the bag, or I guess I should say the rabbit out of the hat, because Liberty Magic is Pittsburgh's premier speakeasy theater, dedicated to the art of elevating magic. And if you've never been, there is a really fun show right now that would be a perfect entry point to what they do best. Magician and comedian Rob Zabrecky has brought his variety show, The Zabrecky Hour, to Pittsburgh, and it is just so wonderfully weird. There's deadpan comedy, song and dance, and his absurd take on mental phenomena, which may involve getting a few of his audience members involved. It is strange in a way you will never forget. The Zabrecky Hour is happening now at Liberty Magic through July 14th, and they even offer a Skeleton Key VIP experience for the best seats and an up-close encounter. You've got to check it out. That's the Zabrecky Hour at Liberty Magic through July 14th. Get your tickets at trustarts.org/magic before they disappear. So obviously people associate the library with books, but one of the coolest things I think about our local library system here in the county is we just have so much more than that. If folks listen to our show a lot, they have heard us talk about it before, but since we are lucky enough to have you, Erin, we wanted to check on some of your favorites. So let's start with something you can actually experience. I've heard you talk in the past a little bit about kits and how those work.
Yes, so there are experience kits available at almost every library. You can request it through our library catalog, even at some libraries. At Bain, we do require you to come in, but basically you get a membership card or a card that gives you a pass to visit certain museums, such as the Heinz History Center, the Pittsburgh Trolley Museum, Meadowcroft Rock Shelter and Village, and you come in and you check it out for 1 week, and you're able to get 4 people in. Some are a little different to these places for free, and it's like a nice little experience, a little road trip kind of kit. So those kits are available now that so anyone can check out as long as your local library is participating in that.
What about something you can learn? CityCast Pittsburgh's Mallory Falk was especially excited about new language learning opportunities. Tell me about those.
Yes, so using the e-resources available through the library system, just available with your library card. There are 2 programs available. One is called Little Pim Languages. It's for younger learners. And there's also Mango Languages, and it's just available through the e-resources website, the e-library website. You can find a link to that through your local library. You just click on the link and you could type in your library card and you're good to go.
What about something you can borrow? I am always so floored when I see the list of things that are included in what the library calls the, quote, library of things. It's just huge.
It is massive, and I'm always really amazed when I find something new available. For example, my daughter's birthday party is this weekend, and I could go on and I could rent a gigantic, like, Connect Four game or lawn games like lawn darts, ladder ball, all of these kind of things. They're available to request through the library catalog. Some of them are quite large. We do have a countywide shipping system, and they probably maybe not be able to actually get them there. So we do ask to check with the library to see if you need to visit that library and actually physically pick the item up. I don't think they'd be able to ship a giant Connect Four game, but they do amazing things in our shipping department. So if I wanted something that, say, Braddock Library has, I would not have to necessarily physically drive myself to Braddock Library. I could request it through the catalog, and it would show up in about 3 to 5 days at my library for me to take home.
Yeah, there's just so many things on that list. Musical instruments, dolls. I saw a telescope once. It's just fascinating. I guess finally, maybe what's something you can do with the library system to help you maybe feel more in community with folks in your area? I know at Andrew Bain, for example, y'all have so many classes and events. I was really surprised to see the full list.
Yeah, always check out your local library to see what's going on. I follow a bunch of libraries just to see what's going on personally. And I know there's book clubs. I really am interested in the cook the book clubs. Those sound really delicious.
I feel like producer Sophia Lowe would love that.
Yeah, and there's painting classes, there's crafts for adult classes. We have personally a mahjong club that comes and meets every Wednesday afternoon at Bain Library. They are intense. But it's so cool to have these kind of things that are for adults too, not just for kids. Even this summer, we personally are doing mostly kid programming, but we do have several art programs. We have a Carnegie Natural History Museum bringing a dinosaur tent that is available for adults to come check out too.
Well, of all these things, what's one thing that maybe you're most excited about to check out, to try, or to introduce folks to over the next few months?
So I'm actually really excited about the Rad Pass Staycation.
Yeah, we've talked about that on this show. It's a much larger list, but those tickets are still going so fast.
They do go very, very fast. The best recommendation is to sign on in the morning and check as many times as you can because it is not a finite amount of passes. It will say that it's out for the month, but that's not true. It's just the system automatically saying that it's out for the month. They do replenish daily.
Okay, that's a good pro tip.
Yeah, I personally really want to go to the Pittsburgh Botanic Gardens. They're coming to do a program at my library this summer, and I've never been. And I know that they're one of the participating organizations. So I'm really personally excited to do that. I also, like I said, using that library of things, like I think it's really cool that I just put a hold on the lawn games and they'll hopefully be here in time for my daughter's birthday.
Well, that's so wonderful. I hope your daughter has a wonderful birthday party. And Erin, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us. We hope to have you back. Maybe we'll get some more book recommendations before the summer's out.
Love to do that. Thanks for having me, Megan.
That's all for today here on CityCast Pittsburgh. And I know we've been talking about Bellevue, but this kind of cool prize system is very relevant to the rest of the system. Megan Zagorski with the Allegheny County Library Association says that, for example, the Brentwood branch has tickets to the opera and a homemade Afghan. The library in Homestead is giving away gift cards to Millie's and Jenny's, plus tickets to Kennywood. And the grand prize up in Robinson is a Kindle Fire. The Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh, meanwhile, is doing a little Readapalooza competition between its many locations. And of course, you can always find more about all of them online or in person at your own neighborhood branch. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Talk to you soon.
I just saw toddlers this morning, and I love it so much, but every age is...
It's utter chaos, but I love it.
Absolute utter chaos, yes.
I will maybe darken your doorstep with my toddler at some point this summer.